Hey, welcome. It's the Holistic Motivator here for another personal development session. How did you wake up this morning? Did you just do anything? Did you have a morning routine? This is exactly what we're going to be talking about, how to prime yourself before you start your day. As you can see, I'm having some tea. Tea is actually a very great way to prime yourself. Sip on some tea in the morning. Great way to prime yourself. All right, so some of y'all thinking, all right, dude, what you got going on for me here? It's simple. Every day of the week, the way we start off the week, I said this on Monday, is super important. But what's more important than how we start off the week is how we start off every single day, because that's what makes up the week. Now you're like, okay, that's pretty basic. That's simple. I get that. But what's the importance of waking up early, having a whole routine? Well, let's think about it. If you're a mom, what's the first thing you got to do when you wake up? You have to deal with your kids or manage the household. If you are just for someone like me, single, ready to mingle, you have goals and dreams that you want to achieve. And as a mother, you have goals and dreams too. But if you're just a young person and you don't have a family yet, chances are you're going to have some ambitions. You might be in school, you might be working on your career or doing something else. So the first things that you're going to take care of in the morning is you're probably going to get ready to go to work. So a lot of times when we first rise up, our first intention is to take care of somebody else. As soon as we get up, there's somebody else we got to take care of. If you're a business owner, as soon as you get up, you got your clients you got to deal with. So what that means is we often have to deal with other people's dramas and situations before we get to deal with our internal, what I would say, calibration. We have to deal with other people's situations rather than dealing with our internal calibration. So basically, if you stay with me here and you don't get lost along the way, I'm going to talk about setting your routine, a nice morning routine, so that you can prime yourself in the beginning of the day. Now, what does priming look like? Well, I took the word priming from Tony Robbins. He uses that word specifically. But prime means you're getting yourself to the top, to the peak. You know, Optimus Prime is the leader of the Transformers. Optimus Prime is the leader of the Transformers. I don't know if you watched that movie. Because he's at his prime. He's one of the best. He has an ability to beat anybody that comes his way because he's Optimus Prime. So if you wake up at the optimal time and you prime yourself, you're going to be the Optimus Prime. You're like, okay, Ed, and your nerdish references. Yeah, that is the truth. Why? Because before you deal with anybody else's energy, it's best to get your energy ready so you can deal with the world. So before you deal with they, deal with you. Before you deal with they, deal with you. And you're like, I like that idea. Why is it important to wake up super early? I don't know if you guys heard of the body clock. I put out the Chinese body clock, which specifies which of your organs are working throughout which time in the morning. So I'm going to actually share some of that with you if you're interested in knowing which organs are working. So in the morning, between the hours of 5 and I'm actually going to put that up, when you wake up, what is the first thing that you do? I want you to comment, when you wake up, what is the first thing that you do? Do you go to the bathroom? Do you drink some water? Do you open up Instagram? What's the first thing that you do in the morning? That's a very important thing because think about it. if you were hibernating and the first thing you did was get on a screen, then not the best way to start. So I wake up around 5:30, 5 a.m., or when it's really good, 4:30. So the Chinese body clock says between the hours of 3 to 5 a.m., that's when your lungs are getting detoxed, your memory is being restored, replenished, and you're going through the deep sleep. So your lungs at this point is working a lot. Well, that's when it's recuperating or healing. 6 a.m., your large intestine is looking to get rid of everything it has processed the day before or the night before. So your large intestine is like, yo, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta pee. So this is like between 5 and 7. That's when you go to the bathroom and you're like, okay, I need to get rid of stuff in me so that I can share what's in me. You're like, what does that mean? Well, when you're too full of it's hard to be focused and to be free of cloudiness. So literally in the morning, the first thing that you do is your body gets rid of the feces in your belly or in your large intestine, if I may say it the correct way. So at this point, your body's like, yo, we need to get rid of all this food or all this digested food. So all the food is gone. So that's a good time to meditate. So between the hours of 5 and 7, when you wake up, you drink some water. That's the best time to drink water is right when you wake up. Put some lemon and cucumber in there, then you're doing even better, right? So you put some water and cucumber in your water, put some lemon and cucumber, alkaline it, drink it. That's going to be a really good way to start. So if somebody says, I thought coffee is the first thing. Well, here's the thing about coffee first thing in the morning. You get your coffee. Well, ain't nothing wrong with you drinking. Well, there is something not right with it, but I'm not going to talk about that. There's nothing wrong with drinking your coffee at some point throughout the day. Whether it's mushroom coffee or whatever type of coffee, there's nothing wrong with that. But once you drink it right when you wake up, it's not working like it would have. Because as soon as you wake up, your body's already shooting its natural drugs, which are not drugs, but chemicals. I'm just putting it in that way, called cortisol. And cortisol, which some people see as the stress chemical, is released first thing in the morning to wake you up. So that's why in the morning, that's how you wake up. That shot of cortisol is helping you. So that is like more than 5 cups of coffee. So if you're mixing that with the stimulant of caffeine, which one is going to win? The cortisol. And if you overstimulate when you're already stimulated, that's going to get you antsy or fidgety or it's too much. So it's not the best thing to drink coffee right when you wake up, but give it 2 to 3 hours until your cortisol levels drop. Then it would be ideal to now I can drink coffee. Like right after 7, coffee or tea, I've been drinking more tea lately. And if I do have coffee, I've been doing the mushroom coffee or the ginseng. Sometimes I have regular coffee too, because I'm a coffee enjoyer. So, but now I'm learning how to balance it and not have it throughout the whole day stimulating my nervous system. So first thing in the morning is not coffee, it's water, because cortisol is already all up there. So what if you wake up and you got a lot of things to do, and then you got the cortisol, and then now you got more stresses in your mind, you're thinking about everything that's going to happen wrong or whatever. You're going to be super stressed. You're going to be definitely really stressed if right when you wake up, your body's trying to wake you up with cortisol, and then now you're adding more cortisol because you're stressed out about what's going on to the day. If you're stressed out about what's going on throughout the day, your body's going to be inducing double stress. So what do you do then? That's where meditation comes along. Some of y'all maybe never meditated or never took a deep breath outside. I do Qigong, right? So you want to do something that's going to calm down your central nervous system, that's going to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, sympathetic nervous system. The reason for that is right in the morning, you can get stressed out worrying about everything. So why not get in peace so that you can be ready to handle everything? Some people walk their dog in the morning or go walking, or some people run in the morning. What do you do first in the morning? Do you watch TV? Do you put on something noisy? What is it? So peace is the best thing for the morning because it's already peaceful. Ain't that much people driving around. Some of the family members in your household ain't up yet, so you have less distractions right in the morning. So the best thing you can do is meditate. You meditate early on. You take some time to breathe. That's really good. So the Chinese body clock says that between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. is when your large intestine is operating. So you woke up, you released your bowels, now you meditate. You've emptied out your body, so now you're going to empty out your mind so that you can get ready to fill up past 7 a.m. So now 7 a.m. comes, that's when you have good concentration, because not only are you empty, you're ready to receive, your mind is clear. Now you can say, okay, now I'm going to have breakfast. Or, I don't like the idea of breakfast at 8 a.m. I drink tea, right? I drink tea at 8 a.m. I don't drink anything until like 9 or 10, where I break my fast with a juice, with a vegetable juice, beet, celery, ginger, turmeric, carrots. So I drink a vegetable juice in the morning because your body is still trying to break your fast when you went to sleep. Good morning, Deandra. So because of that, your body is like, yo, let me clear up first before you start putting in all these things in there. I'm trying to clear out my body, right? So right around 8 a.m. is a good time to go run, to detox, let the toxins go out of your sweat glands, and then now by 9 a.m. you're ready to rumble. You're ready to get to work. You're clear thinking. You're being able to concentrate. You could even go for a walk now, right? If you didn't walk, you could go for a run. I just went for a run right between the hours of 7 and 8, right? In fact, between the hours of 8:30 and 9, I went for a run because I got rid of everything that was in me. I went to the bathroom like 3 times, drank water, drank tea. I already meditated. I already read some book because when my mind was clear, I read some books because I have that energy to put towards that. So now by 10 o'clock, my spleen is the one working, right? So now I'm clear. I'm thinking clearly, and I'm converting whatever food into chi, right? So the first food I had was juice. I had juice. So all of that juice did not take that long time in my stomach to digest because it's liquid. So my digestive system doesn't work that hard anymore because I just had juice. Not high fructose corn syrup juice. I had vegetable juice that had a lot of enzymes because there wasn't cooked. So as soon as that you cook your food, a lot of the enzymes are taken away. So you want a juice. So right now, 10, I'm clear. This is why it's a great time to do things like this, because I've already primed myself early this morning by this time. Now my spleen is operating, which is what's taking the nutrients from my blood, from the food that I've eaten, and putting it into my blood. So what's happening now is by this time, I am fueled up. So you see how from the hours of 4 a.m. to 10 a.m., this whole time was my development period until the point where now, after I do this podcast, now I'm going to start working on other things that I have to work on. Mind you, is because I have the luxury of working at home and doing the work that I do. And because of that, I can have my schedule this way. So you're like, yo, I dig the idea of your morning routine. It seems pretty interesting. Priming yourself seems like a good thing to do. I like to do it, but I've tried to wake up early and it didn't work before. How did you wake up early the first time, and what do you do consistently to keep yourself on track? Well, the thing about it is you don't need to try too hard. You just need to try consistently over time. Life is not about hard work as much as it is consistent work. But you're like, yo, I try to be consistent sometimes, but I still fall off. What's the thing? The thing is, you have to learn how to be consistent in getting back on, right? So I was telling myself today when I was running, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. That's what you're doing. You're telling yourself to come on, to turn on your light, to steer away from ignoring what you need to do by getting an ignorance, to tell yourself, yo, come on, let's do it. So you're like, all right, so I did my morning routine for 7 days, but I fell up on the 8th day, and I'm trying to get back on it, and I don't feel like, well, you just have to make a strong enough dedication that you're going to wake up tomorrow morning at this time. And then no matter what you feel that morning, you find it in you to wake yourself up. And then you do it the next day. And then you do it the next day. And then you keep doing it, it becomes habitual. So that habit gets then ingrained in your own personal body clock. So at first we thought that, yo, my body clock is only based on the different organs. Like I said, between the hours of 3 to 5, that's when your lung is working. 5 to 7, mind you, all your organs are working throughout this whole time, but it's just that's when the focus is on that. So between 5 and 7, large intestine. 7 and 9, your stomach. 9 and 10, spleen. 11 and 1, heart. 1 to 3, small intestine. 3 to 5, that's when your bladder. 5 to 7, kidney. 7 to 8, pericardium. 9 to 11, triple burner. So I'm only talking about the morning routine, so I won't get to the whole body clock. You can look this up on Google, right? You're going to see the Chinese body clock, and that explains to you how your body literally works at different times of the day. So you're like, oh, I didn't know that between 5 and 7 my large intestine is working. That's why I go to the bathroom. Yes, that is exactly why. Now you're like, maybe I'm irregular. I don't go to the bathroom at the time. Well, you're not following the body clock, which means you're eating when you want, you're doing what you want, whatever time. If you're eating too much food early in the morning, even cooked food, it's best not even to do that early on. Wait till like after 10 to start to eat cooked food. And in the beginning of the day, best to drink a smoothie or a vegetable juice, something along the lines of that, because that's going to help you a whole lot. And then there's a cutoff time to stop eating, like 8 or 7. It should be by your dinner time, right? So that's going to give you enough clarity or time to digest all that food. So you finish eating by 7 or 8, and you're like, all right, I'm hungry now. What do I do? Well, now is a good time to drink something liquid or fruit or something that can be easily digested. So while you're sleeping, you're not going to be too full and constipated. That's going to ruin your sleep, right? Like, it's better to go to sleep on an empty stomach than it is like to go night. Some people say don't sleep with an empty stomach. Like, you make sure that's not right. It's better to sleep with an empty stomach, or at least a stomach that is already digested all the things that it needed for that day, right? So how you end your day is going to affect how you start your day. So how you prime your nighttime ritual is going to dictate your sleep. It's going to dictate how you wake up. So how do you go to sleep? Do you just fall asleep wherever, whenever, however, or do you plan it out? Do you do a specific routine to slow yourself down to the point where you literally have a nighttime ritual, right? So what's that looking like? Maybe I'll do a workshop on these things. I'll do another podcast on them. So just come back around and you'll be able to see it. But mainly today, I'm just talking about priming yourself first time in the morning. Think about yourself. When did you have the best days? Was it when you just woke up and did anything? Or was it when you woke up with intention and did certain things to prime yourself? Like, when did you have the best morning? Take note of that. Write that down. What helped me have the best morning? How did I feel? Now, the next question is, what was it about one of these mornings that when you woke up was about the worst morning? Which means that when you woke up, you just felt like your energy was down. Like, what emotional states were you at? How did your body feel? How did your mind feel? Did you feel foggy? Did you feel drained? Did you feel angry? Did you wake up with tightness in your back and your shoulders? Like, what are these things, and are you conscious of them? When you wake up, do you feel if your liver is being squeezed because you're leaning too much to the right? Do you feel if your spleen is being squeezed because you're leaning too much to the left? Do you feel pain in your lower back? Do you feel that your shoulders are tight, or you got a pain in the neck? Do you feel like your heart is hurting in your chest? You need to rub it. Like, what are you feeling? Because these things are not just, in relation to the different chakras and there also has to do with emotions. They also have to do with what you slept on while you slept. It's not just what you slept on physically as in the bed, but what things were on your mind when you went to sleep. All of these things play a big role in how you feel. So before you sleep, it's great to prime your sleep. So one of the major things about sleep that we don't often talk about is the ability to manifest in your sleep. Somebody says, what is manifest in my sleep? Well, when you go to sleep, you actually have a good opportunity to feed it into your subconscious mind the instructions that you want to come out when you wake up. So somebody says, what is that? Subconscious mind instructions. Well, where do you go when you go to sleep? The question is, where do you go when you go to sleep? I mean, if you're not here in the physical realm and somehow you could image in a bunch of images and see these things that you didn't see before, and you could see some past things and future things and unknown things, and you could experience so much, where do you go? Well, we must be going to God. We must be having the ability of the Creator to envision things that are not necessarily there. Which means if we're going to God, that's our best opportunity to create, right? So a lot of times we manifest in this world, as with our words, while we're right awake. So when we go to sleep and we're taking a trip to God, why don't we set the instructions so we can remember, so that we could ask God while we're sleeping? So when you write something down right before you go to sleep, it goes into your subconscious mind, where your subconscious mind works it out for you, and then it gives you an answer when you wake up in the morning. So Thomas Edison did it. There's a lot of people I've read in history that have done it. Many other people, but there's a lot of people who they have something that they put in their ear before they go to sleep. So when they wake up in a whole different mood. Like when I woke up this morning, I woke up with a book on my mind. A book I've read back then. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And he talks about a lot of the things that I was talking about this week. But I went to sleep and I woke up with that book on my mind. And then what I did was I had woke up like around 2 or 3. I was reading a book. Mind you, I'm reading a book at 3 o'clock in the morning. Somebody said, you crazy. What you doing reading? Well, I'm hungry for the knowledge, but at the same time, I'm learning to listen to my mind. So I'm learning to listen to God. So when I read the book, I understood where my life was, and that was God's way of giving me an answer, right? So you would think that at the dream it would be like, oh, go over here and you will find. No, sometimes you just wake up with an idea, a light bulb moment. But these light bulb moments don't happen too much if you're tainted when you're going to sleep. So I went to sleep sober and I went to sleep not sober. I realized that when I go to sleep sober, I have a better clarity of dreams and I wake up with more ideas or more downloads, because when you're going to God, don't go drunk, right? Or don't go high. It's best to go with a clear mind. What that allows you to do, it allows it to work without being tainted. And then you could get more answers than you've gotten before. So you're like, yo, I've tried the manifesting in my dreams and writing some things down so I could get the answers in the morning, but it hasn't worked. Well, you might want to check what you're consuming the night before and also what you're assuming about the result you're going to get, right? You got to have a lot of faith in doing that too. You can't have do it, you have believe it, have don't, have to, no, it has to be, you got to be full in, and then you got to make sure that you're not too full of what that means is make sure you get rid of all the things in your belly, right? So the way you do that is by watching the cutoff time of your eating time the night before. So you got to be really conscious about that. So what are some other things that, Ed, should I be conscious of? Well, you should be conscious of how your feces, or I'm not sure if that's how your, when you go to the bathroom, whatever you excrete, how does that look like? How does your poo look like? Like, does it look weird? Like, if you Google this, you're going to see what different colors mean, what different textures mean. And you're like, yo, you talking about this right now? Well, this is very important. You need to know what your body is communicating to you every single day. Because if you don't know, then you only know when it starts burning, right? So the fire has been started in your body, but you never smell the smoke. So by managing yourself every day, you're smelling the smoke and you're putting out the smoke, right? By doing the things that's going to be better for you. That's true self-awareness, not the pseudo self-awareness of thinking, of saying I'm aware or I'm woke, but yet you're not literally aware of what's going on within you, right? Every single day, that awareness is going to give us clarity of vision, clarity of mind, and it's also going to then bring about all of the desires that we have, all the goals and missions that we have. But it starts with not only priming your morning to prime your day, but priming your night to prime your morning. So you can get out of mourning into content, mourning into happiness. So what are some things that you do? I want you to comment them below. What are some things that you do every day to prime yourself? I want you to write those things down. And what are the things that I can start doing to prime myself today? Write that down. Deandra says that she does 5 top manifestations in my pillowcase to read before night I go to sleep. That is perfect, right? Not only does words have power in just reading them, but just the words itself have power, right? You know how you used to put I don't know if you did this, you put your toothpaste for, not your toothpaste, when you was a kid, you put your tooth for the tooth fairy, right? The tooth fairy ain't real, right? Ain't no tooth fairy for real. But when we become adults, we gotta put our questions for God, not only in our minds, but we can start to put them in our pillow cases. Now you're like, why do that? Well, imagine with the intention of having the words right there. That's going to manifest. Having the words on the wall. Like I have words all over, because words, the spelling of words, though you may not like, spell, right? So they could either spell you into demise or they can spell your life into greatness. So what are some other things that you can do? Well, there's the concept that water has vibrations, and water itself can be affected by words, right? Emoto, an writer who wrote the book Messages in Water, talks about how words affect water. So what happened is, whenever he would speak out, and this is an actual experiment done a lot of times, negative words to the water, it will formulate crystals that look dark or didn't look as the crystals looked that when he said positive messages to them. He also tried this towards plants, where he would put out negative energy towards the plants and the plants will die, and we will put positive energy towards the plants and the plants will survive and thrive. That's because our words have so much meaning. I'm reminded of Dr. Love, who does his sleepitation program, which is unique to him. I'll tell you about it. And basically, the concept is putting a glass of water on top of your affirmation, and saying the affirmation like an incantation, and then drinking the water. Literally putting that energy into it and using that faith that as you drink that water, that is going to actually manifest. And somebody might say, what, this is woo-woo, this is whatever. Well, it's just a sign of faith. It's just a sign of, right? It's like the holy water, right? The pastor would pray over the holy water and it would get energy to fuel you. And you'd be like, wait, what makes the water so holy? Or kosher or whatever. Like, what makes it so holy? Well, it's the words. And then, so don't be a skeptic, be a optimistic, right? Understand that the natures of the world, the laws of the world all work and join, but we can't be so skeptical about everything that we never really try different things. So you're like, okay, I don't want to do the note underneath the water and, doing it and saying an affirmation or chanting or singing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to spiritually elevate. I don't want to do that. And you're like, okay, what else can I do? Well, you can just record yourself right before you go into sleep, or beforehand every day. You could record certain things that you want to put into your subconscious mind. Now, listen, the things, if you want to, so some people ask me to text me. If you want that information, text. If you're not in the text tribe already, make sure you text 561-510-9605. I know Carl is on there. Y'all in there, so I got y'all. Text me, by the way, 561-510-9605. Text holistic to that so you can stay in the loop, right? So right before you go to sleep, you can just listen to something positive, right? What do you want your life to look like? What is it that you're working on, right? These are the things that's going to help you, right before you go to sleep. When you wake up, what are you listening to? I have in my voice messages, goals and affirmations, vision statements, my script. I'm going to do workshops on these things that I listen to prime me, right? So 4 or 5 hours before the day starts, I haven't made any client work or anything like that, but I've invested in myself first, right? They say, put your mask on before you put the mask on for somebody else. Mask on first. So don't mask your stress as strength. Strengthen yourself by breathing, by working in and working out, by drinking tea and drinking vegetable juice, by being conscious of your bowel movements just as much as you're conscious of your mental constipation or mental diarrhea, right? So give yourself, like Dr. Love says, give yourself an emotional enema, or give yourself, some of us are emotionally constipated. Right in the morning, we want to feel the emotions, we want to feel the stress in our body, and then we want to figure out how to get rid of it so that we're not going throughout the day holding in that shoulder anxiety, holding in that back stress, holding in the tightness in your hamstrings of fear, holding in your booty tightness of anger, right? You want to let go all of those tightness, all of those tight spots. Like I literally teach you how to release those stagnation. I'm going to be starting something along the lines of that soon. But all I wanted to say today is start your day with such intention, with such motivation, with such inspiration, with such good energy that your day cannot go wrong. Right? Today when I was running, I was like, yo, Ed, you can keep going, keep pushing yourself. And I'm saying lines of affirmations. I'm saying things that are not just having to do with the run. It has to do with my life. And this is empowering me, inspiring me, and fueling me. So some people say, hey, how are you like? Well, I am not like this. I work on this. Somebody say, hey, how do I be like this? Well, I am not like this. I am not great. I'm not the greatest. I'm not the guru. I'm simply a guy who's every awareness that I get, I'm working on that awareness. I'm working on that progress. I'm not just sitting on my comfort, but I'm pushing myself to becoming better. Because I don't have high expectations. I have high standards. Like I set myself to the point where I know that because of who I am as a creator, I can create. Because of who I am as a creator, I can create my life, right? I can create my states. And no matter what happened before, what happened then, what happened yesterday, today is a new day. And because of that, that's what keeps fueling me. That's what keeps pushing me every single day, right? Just watch my videos, right? You're going to see me every day pushing myself. You're going to see me every day getting out of it, getting out of the rut, getting out of a stuck situation, every day like pushing myself. Well, you might not see that, but you're going to see what I'm doing, right? Everything I'm posting, everything you see on the internet that I send you, like, know this is taking a chunk of my time, and know that there's other things I'm doing. If you see whatever you see here, right? Like, you see me coming here to doing a video, and you see a podcast up, then you see a post there, and you see this there. You're like, yo, how is he doing all of this? Well, I have created a way where I can stay sane and get much more done because I am managing my wellness as much as I'm managing my life, right? To the point where I don't have to do much managing anymore, right? So you do enough managing long enough, consistently over time, so you don't have to do any managing for the rest of your life. You're like, what? What do you mean you do enough managing consistently over time so you don't have to? Well, you do it enough that you do it automatically so that you don't have to do it, but it still gets done, right? This is not just for your habits or whatever, it's for everything. Do it enough to the point where you don't have to because you automatically do it. Melanin Waves. Thank you so much for putting that in. Make sure y'all Cash App Ed Talks now. Support your boy. Cash App Ed Talks. Leave a donation. So do it long enough so you do what you want to so you don't have to, right? So this is the quick morning routine. You go to a workshop that you paid for, they would have told you some of these things. There's a lot more to it, but like, this is a podcast, so I give it in short and sweet points. So every day, new idea, every day something different that you can take in and use. And I always make a disclaimer, right? Don't assume I'm right. Hey, so Ed, you told me all of this. It resonates with me, and it's true. But you say don't assume I'm right? No, don't take my word for it. Take your action result as the word for it, right? The results that you get should be your confirmation. Not me, like, yo, who's Ed? Ed is not Jesus Christ, right? Ed is not God. I don't know the way, like I know the way to everything, right? So I'm just here as a servant, and I allow things to flow through me, and then I'm telling you my life experience. But you gotta go apply it, try it, and see if it works. And there's something more than your judgment, though. It's when you don't judge the thing, where the results show you that, yo, this is the way. Or when God confirms it. Only way you stick to it is when your result confirms it, or God confirms it. That's your intuition, right? That's the only time to take it as truth. Why? Because if you do take everything as truth, you may be taking in false truths, okay? So that's my message, and I'm sticking to it. Truth does recognize truth, Carl. And yeah, appreciate y'all for watching, tuning in, sticking with me here. I appreciate y'all for supporting me right now in the beginning of I guess I've been doing it for a while now, 5 years. They say 5 years is what you need, that, 20,000 hours? I think I've been reaching that already, right? So soon come, great things will wait in the future, great things await today, because every time we share our spirit, great things is being shared. So remember, all you got to do today is, if you don't do anything, you don't have to become super rich or successful. Just manage yourself well and share yourself, share your light. Until you do that, the world will forever miss all your talents, all your gifts, and all the great things you have to offer. So remember, let your light shine. Don't hide it. Don't dim it. Please leave a review. I really, really need y'all help. Like, if you want to thank me, and you're like, bro, I don't I don't care to cash app you, or I don't have it right now. That's fine. I get it. However, my intention is not, yo, give me money, right? If I wanted that, I'd probably just charge you to watch this video. My intention is I want to empower the world, right? That's my reason here. Like, if I don't do anything in the world, I want to plant seeds in people's minds. Now, how am I going to do that? Well, I want this podcast to go all around the world. I want people from every country to listen to this who speak English, right? Until I start making it in Creole and French. So by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, like you might have to go out your way to do it. You might have to Google Ed Talks Daily Personal Growth and Motivation, or go to Apple Podcasts, or go on the computer. It might disrupt the normal thing of watching and leaving, right? It might disrupt it, but it's thanks to me, right? And I want to do this every day, right? But at some point, can I keep doing it every day? So while I'm doing it every day now, I think I would like for a lot more people to listen to it. So maybe I'm talking too much. Maybe I am trying to convince you a little bit, because sometimes some people need convincing. But I am really asking of you kindly to go leave a review. Go to Ed Talks Daily Personal Growth and Motivation. Say, hey Siri, play Ed Talks Daily Personal Growth and Motivation, and leave a review. If you don't have time for that, just support the podcast, Cash App, Ed Talks. All right? Those are my little promos. I'm going to be doing more workshops, so I'll be dropping the link to the Eventbrites and things like that soon, so be on the lookout. And if you haven't shared this video yet, share it to your story, start a watch party or something, or share it to a friend or two. All right? Peace. Thank y'all. So somebody want to know what my tea is. Nobody asked me, but I'm volunteering. The tea, I had ginger, turmeric, citronella or lemongrass, and this new found leaf I found in the backyard. Some sort of mint. These leaves here are so medicinal and cancer killing. And then, we ignore them all the time. Oh, I'm in Florida, so we got a lot of leaves. What is this leaf again? Some sort of Indian mint. It tastes good, and it's really good for your insides. So just sip on some tea, man. Quarantining. Quarantining. T-E-A-N. Quarantining. Peace.